news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leaving the universe.
Let's go. Good rising, Big City 101.3 FM. Waking up with Tayla Andre, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 7. Woo-hoo. Reggie B, you know what I thought about yesterday? I thought about the time that you and the poets came up here the first time, not the second time, but the first time. You remember that?
December 2013.
I'm the biggest hypocrite. And you know what? I went back and I listened to that show, and the poems were absolutely amazing. And I listened to our second show with the poems, and I'm like, we need to do that again. And Women's Month is coming up, so can we do a all women's poetry, I am she, hear me roar type thing?
I got 3 women poets for you.
Book. Okay, you see? 3. I love it.
No, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. I promise to tell the truth. As far as weather is concerned, listen, I lied because yesterday I said it was going to be mostly cloudy and it was mostly sunny and it was beautiful. So we're not even going to do weather today. But as far as traffic is concerned, get to where you need to be because it's already backing up. 93 north and south is already down to 14 miles an hour. So get to where you need to be. No texting and driving. Our wife is down. You guys know that's always there. 6 miles an hour, and Longwood is down to actually 27. So that's pretty good. But don't text and drive. You might want to go. People might want to stop, and you just caused an accident. So let me go ahead and hit you with some of this amazing news. Tristan Walker, age 31. Oh my gosh. 31, Sanford MBA turns down a $500 million. $500 million buyout from Chic Gillette and Procter & Gamble to keep his black men's skincare and grooming line, Bevel, black-owned. Talk about Black history. How you turn down $500 million? $500 million. Yo, could he have taught something to Bob Johnson? Bob Johnson went ahead and sold out BET. Was just like, here, take it. I don't want it no more. Absolute Tristan Walker. Yeah, ladies, he's single, y'all. No ring on that finger. Tristan Walker, 31 years old, Stanford MBA, turns down $500 million buyout from Chic, Gillette, and Procter & Gamble to keep his business black-owned. I know Mr. Nubian got something to say about this. Go ahead, Bo.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I got that brother's razor. If any lady has a man that got them nasty bumps, that would cure it. That is the best razor they ever invented for black men. You did an excellent job on that product.
Are you sure about that? You positive?
I'm positive. Someone put me onto that. I brought it. I haven't had a bump since. Now, it's really great if you start from the beginning. Like, if you have a son about to go off to college and just about to start shaving, if you give him that, it'll work great because the electric razor is not going to give you that crystal clean shave.
You know what? What about women? Can I get it for myself? Does he have a female line?
No disrespect. You being K-Running, please hook your cousins up. They're beautiful.
Listen, I hate you. I hate you right now.
I heard that.
Listen, my mustache is all the way grown in right now. Don't judge us. Y'all love us, every other aspect of us, but we are hairy as hell. Hold on. Pause. Not a real statement, not a true statement, because my mother didn't even eat pork like that when she was pregnant with me, and I didn't even eat pork like that when I was young. So pause, no.
Eating pork or sleeping with white men, either or will bring out that body here. Leave the swine alone.
Well, I guess I'm white then. Have a wonderful day, because it ain't the swine. It's not the pork. All right. I knew he was going to say something, but he said that's an excellent shave. So I'll go ahead and get it for Anari so he can start his manhood.
What brand is it?
It's Tristan Walker, and it's Bevel, Bevel, Bevel.
I wonder if they sell those in the stores around here.
So from what I heard, Bevel is making its way to Tajay.
Okay.
So I haven't confirmed that, so don't judge me.
Well, when I go into the stores, I'm looking.
You're gonna look. And some of these stores, if you go ahead and you talk to a manager and you say, I would like this product, they'll go ahead and bring it for you. And then depending on how it sells when it comes, will determine whether or not they keep it in the store. And that goes for any store, all stores. I want to go back to the young lady who owned the curl pattern. And she got it into Whole Foods by having so many people ask for it. So in other news, so I've read this story before. I want to read it again because I think it's hilarious, but I think it's like really important for us to not be consumed with what we're being told. The Zika virus is not a virus. Doctors, yes, I am. I'm so, yes, this is so important, especially when we're talking today about conflict minerals. And, we need to talk about conflict foods that are banned in 137 other countries. But yet America's like, here, you can eat it. It's safe. So doctors expose Monsanto-linked pesticide as the cause of the birth defects for the Zika virus.
In Brazil.
And Brazil and Portugal have a relationship there. Portugal completely banned. Remember the story that I read last week?
They did.
They banned over 8 different chemicals, Monsanto-based chemicals that are no longer. They said, no, not here. Yeah. Not in my country.
Do they talk like that?
I don't know. Probably not. And I don't speak Portuguese, which is horrible as a Cape Verdean. If you can teach me my language, I am all the way down. Again, I just want you do your own due diligence. Please go out and read. Black people, it's not illegal anymore. Doctors, and I bet you these doctors are going to end up dead, just like the holistic doctors. So? Yeah. Heavens, yes. Yeah. We have a baby in here, so I gotta choose my words wisely. Doctors expose Monsanto-linked pesticides as the cause of birth defects. Like, just pay attention. Yeah. Pay attention. ABC's new president, Channing Dougie, is the first Black person to lead a major network. Teach me how to, Dougie. Hey, teach me how. She's been named the president of ABC Entertainment Group. The network announced on Wednesday. Dougie is the first Black person to lead a major broadcast network. She replaces the outgoing president, Paul Lee, who has helmed ABC programming since 2010. Channing is a gifted leader and a proven magnet for top creative talent, with an impressive record of developing compelling breakthrough programming that resonates with viewers. So just like DJ Khaled said, I want y'all to go on Twitter and go tweet to the ABC president, Channing Dougie, and tell her that Tayla Andre needs a show. Mm-hmm. You agree? Mm-hmm. You agree?
Hey, listen, what did I tell you? Like
when I rise, we rise.
A couple months ago, what did I say to you? Do you remember what I said to you?
When I was crying? When I was crying?
Yeah, what did I say to you? I said, it's okay, keep on crying. And then I said, within 5 years, you have your own syndicate radio station.
Hey!
So that's what I said to you, right?
I remember.
It's coming. 2021. By that time, watch.
I'm the biggest show in 2016. To go back, Disney/ABC television group chairman Ben Sherwood made that statement about Channing being a gifted leader and a proven magnet for top creative talent. And this goes back to, for me, this goes back to a conversation that we had. Like, why do we have to focus on the fact that she's a Black woman? Why can't we focus on the fact that there's a woman who, the new president of Wellesley. It was a comment made on Facebook that why are we focusing that she's the first Black woman to hold this position? Why can't we just be excited that, she was a gifted and proven leader and she had the talent and not because she was Black?
That's not going anywhere. I'm sorry. It's going to be around forever. It is. It's not going nowhere.
Well, when 2016... we're still making first, I do believe it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Like, we still haven't conquered many aspects of life as far as being first. So I don't know. This story and others is on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page, TaylaAndre. Former Georgia prison officer sued for repeatedly raping inmates.
Wow.
Who polices the police that police the police?
Nobody.
The police.
Nobody.
The police. 3 women all suing the former supervisor at an all-female prison in Georgia for civil rights violations, saying he repeatedly raped them during their time as inmates, incarcerated persons. Yeah. Now they are pleading for other victims to come forward. Plaintiff Casey Mincy, 35 years old, was serving a 3-year sentence for identity fraud when she was tasked with cleaning the mental health wing of the Emmanuel Women's Facility. That's where Captain Edgar Daniel Johnson, the correctional supervisor of the medium security women's prison, began interacting with her. It started innocently, she reported on Monday. Friendly chat soon moved to compelling touches and kisses on the head and hugs. Then Johnson slipped his hand down her pants. Eventually and repeatedly, he raped her, she said. She is not the only incarcerated woman he sexually assaulted.
I'm sorry. Cut it off. They gotta go. They gotta go.
You think we're in Saudi Arabia?
I don't care. Just cut it off, man.
I recently saw a video of
don't say that 15-year-old boy.
No, of the they cut off his hand for stealing.
Wow.
And so I don't do gruesome, but I was like, they can. The first time I ever heard about this was in Aladdin. You remember in Aladdin?
Yeah.
So I never do. When you watch Aladdin, when you watch these kid movies as an adult, you pick up so many things that you missed as a child. Like one of the things that I never understood was Allah forgive. I was like, what is that? And you grow up and you realize, oh, Allah. Okay, I got it. But chopping off hands, and I didn't think that was a real thing.
Listen, there was an article on Facebook that a 15-year-old Iraqi boy or Saudi Arabia boy was listening to pop music and they beheaded him.
What?
You know what I mean?
You better thank your lucky stripes of America that you are on this soil. You know what? I probably, if I lived in any other country during any other time, even if I lived in this country during a different time, my soul, my spirit will still be me. I'd be dead right now. Because I'm a fighter to the fullest, and I don't know how to bite my tongue. And in other countries, there is no, woman.
They got it bad, man.
Go sit in the corner because you don't exist.
They got it bad in those countries. They got it bad.
And it's all based on biblical findings.
Yep.
Truths, facts.
And religion and all that kind of stuff. Pop music.
Pop music will get you beheaded.
In Saudi Arabia.
Would we even have anybody in America if that was our penalty? Would there be anyone who lived here?
I'd say like this. They'll be very tired of killing a lot of people. They gotta kill a lot of people.
Lord have mercy.
They did it that way.
So you guys know, shout out to Chica Project. Chica Project is the organization that I work with. And we like to say when a woman is doing all that she can and is making groundbreaking discoveries and just amazing women, we say that's a Chica.
I thought you were going to say awesome sauce.
No. Meet the 22-year-old Latin Harvard University is calling the next Einstein. How Harvard is calling you the next Einstein. She is a Latina, first-generation Cuban-American millennial from Chicago. At least that's what Harvard is indicating when they called Sabrina Gonzalez, I don't know, Packersky?
Don't mess it up.
The next Einstein. The 22-year-old graduated from MIT with a perfect score of a 5.0. I didn't even know a 5.0 was even. Wow. You could get, could you earn, well, she earned a 5.0.
I said a 4.0.
Yeah, or I've heard like a 4.6, a 4.7. I still don't know. If you get all A's, how you get a 4.6? You extra credit? Like,
I guess. Sounds like it.
But maybe in college, because there are some classes are 4 credits, some classes are 3 credits. So I guess if you're taking all AP or those high 4 credit classes, it's higher than an A, so it's a AAA.
Triple A? Triple A?
It's a AAA. I have no idea. She got a 5.0 and is now a Harvard PhD candidate where she studies space, time, and black holes. The young Latina is exploring some of the most complex questions in physics, like explaining gravity through the context of quantum mechanics. She said she was interested in science at the age of 12. In Cuba, the Cubana built a plane, which she later taught herself how to pilot and flew over Lake Michigan at 14. She found herself at MIT, where she was initially rejected and later put on the wait list, seeking approval for her single-engine plane. The Chicago native credits MIT's hesitation to accept her as the reason she worked so hard to earn her degree while there. She felt that she had something to prove. And I get it, but I hate it.
Yeah.
Because Harvard is now dubbing her the next Einstein, where MIT was just like, oh, we're going to put you on a wait list. Why? What other reason do you think she was put on the damn wait list?
We just got to talking about it a few minutes ago. I told you it's not going anywhere.
Lord have mercy. Forbes named her one of the 30 under 30 in science. She has received thousands of dollars in grants from Hertz Foundation, the Smiths Foundation, the National Science Foundation to support her work. Just at 22 years old. I can't imagine what this woman's going to be at 50. At 50. Awesome sauce. How do you build a single engine plane, fly it, and then get rejected by MIT? Like, how do you do that?
Living in America.
Hey, you know what? Remember I told you, I said earlier this week that I wanted a drop only in America. I think I'm just going to download the song. That's good. That's good. High five. That was a good one. She's not on Facebook or Instagram. She doesn't own a smartphone. Gonzalez Packersky does have a website, Physics Girl, which she updates regularly with her long growing list of accomplishments.
Maybe we should try to get her in here.
We can definitely try.
Reach out to her.
I already did.
I know. That's
a chica. I know. This source came from Latina.com, and Latina.com, I love it. It's probably one of my favorite sites to go to as far as like, and when they cover entertainment, they don't cover entertainment. They cover this entertainer in the society, in the world of being a Latina. And I feel like it's a different perspective. I don't feel like it's like, oh, Jennifer Lopez, the girl with the big butt. It's like, no, Jennifer Lopez, our Latina, has done XYZ. We don't necessarily, we may agree or don't agree. Like, I love the way they cover their articles. Do we have a website? Do we have something?
I don't know.
So I want to give a shout out to Uncle Terry. Uncle Terry sent me a link and wanted yesterday to piggyback off our conversation about what Black history fact do you want to bring to the forefront? He said Seneca Village. Yeah. So for those who don't know, Central Park's landscape near the West 85th Street entrance looks much like the rest of the park, featuring rolling hills, rock outcrops, and towering trees. However, this area is anything but ordinary. Nearly 200 years ago, this was the site of Seneca Village, the largest community of free African-American property owners in antebellum, New York. The story of Seneca Village begins in 1825 when Andrew Williams and Epiphany Davis became the first African Americans to purchase land in the area, which stretched from West 82nd Street to West 85th Street between. You guys know each other?
Sure do.
Really?
Yeah.
Hi. Good rising. Uh-oh.
He's actually doing a gig out in Kenton High School. He's going to be a keynote speaker. I put him on too. Yeah.
Yay! Well, you know what?
This is my man Afro Blue.
It's on his website.
Yeah.
People don't even know he's here. People can't see him. But shout out to Uncle Terry, because Uncle Terry said, that's something that does need to be discussed. The fact that they tore down Seneca Village in order to build the Central Park. Yeah. So, and from what I understand, this is from the website, and so it has a lot of information. From what I understand, Seneca Village, they still have graves in a graveyard that are over, like Central Park. You're just walking over black bodies.
Yep, a graveyard. Yep. And Wall Street was
Yes, exactly.
downstairs would have been sold. So it's all a connection.
So one of the things that I do, isn't it like there's a law? I want to go back to Ken Williams. Ken Williams says you always have to use the law to defend you, use the law to get what you want. But isn't there a law that says that you can't build on top of a cemetery?
Has to be.
There has to be some law. I would love, and I think there was actually, I have to go back and do my due diligence, but I believe that there was a coalition, a group that was trying to, make Central Park acknowledge the fact that these bodies exist and acknowledge the fact that once upon a time this was a settlement that they destroyed. But I guess it kept getting shut down. I'm going to do my due diligence. I'll post it on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page. I will discuss it tomorrow, Rising. But in 1855, there were 2,000 African Americans in New York, and only 100 were eligible to vote. Of those 100 residents, 10 lived in Seneca Village. With Seneca Village, 50% of African American residents owned their land. Again, 1855, they owned their land, which was 5 times the average ownership rate for all New Yorkers.
Wow.
But
that's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Several Seneca Village property owners, including Albrio Lyons, Levy Smith, and S. Hardenberg, were prominent in the abolitionist movement. Thank you, Uncle Terry.
Yeah.
How do?
Yeah, that's big. That's a huge story.
It is. It really is. Just for kicks and giggles, Juilliard trained cellist, 33 years old, arrested after police found 100 pounds of marijuana worth in his vehicle. 226,000. 226,000.
Correction officer.
No.
There was a story about a correction officer doing something like that too.
Baby, let me explain to you.
Wow.
This picture. Hold on. I have to show you the picture of all of the weed. Look at this weed. Look at all that. Yo, but Juilliard cellist. First of all, you think, and this goes back to the plague that we have going on now with heroin being this thing where you can go into a safe haven and get clean needles and have a nurse watch you get high. But once upon a time, the crack epidemic, you going to jail today. It just, nobody, who would have thought to pull over this squeaky clean cellist. Who would have thought
and find out
that David R. Huckabee, 33 years old, sweet, charming, squeaky clean, good old boy,
student,
100 pounds.
Wet.
Yo, I'm the plug. It is what it is. I just wanted to shed some light on it. Well, I definitely do have some other stories, but you guys can check them out on the Wake Up with Tayla Andre page, TaylaAndre. I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. And I'm really excited for today's conversation. So
James Brown's daughter. Do it again. I feel good. Say it again.
What?
James Brown's daughter. That's you. I'll say it again.
I'm bugging. I'm proud.
No, you said I feel good.
Oh, I feel good. I knew that I would. So good. So good. I don't know the words. Okay, so I have a little miniature chica in the building.
Yes.
That's a chica all the way. I would like to introduce. Come on. Say it with your chest. What is your name, darling?
Hi, Maya Fenelon.
Fenelon?
Yep.
Fenelon. For those who don't know, that is where I spent my summers, on Fenelon Street, right here in Four Corners. My whole summers, my springtimes, February vacations, Christmas vacations, everything. I was here. And we are here today to discuss something because I spoke at Mother Caroline.
Yep.
And I was questioned by some of the young ladies, and one of the questions that came up was, have you ever covered on your show conflict minerals? Pause. I thought I was in a room with kids. Why are we talking about adult situations right now? Maya asked the question about conflict minerals, and actually, do you want to tell the listeners how you got started and being interested in conflict minerals and what a conflict mineral is?
Okay, so like you said, I go Mother Caroline Academy, and in the 6th grade, my science teacher brought up conflict diamonds for our class, and he only spent like less than a day on it, and he was talking about how all these kids are dying in Congo, Africa, just because of one phone or one laptop, and then he just dropped the conversation. So I felt like I needed to research this and figure out what was really going on, because I didn't feel like it was right. So that's how I really got started, and I spent a couple of months just doing research and finding out as much as I could to write my blog. So that's really when I decided I need to start
to write my blog. And you did your due diligence for months.
Yeah.
So we have here a friend of Reggie B, and I would like for us to together, all three of us, talk about this. So come on up, introduce yourself.
My name is Leonard Chitenge. I go by Afro Blues by way of Congo. I'm a poet and a speaker.
Hey, we were just talking about poets, Reggie B.
Yeah, but you said you want female. Leave me alone.
Okay, fine. That's good. Oh, you got one for us? Go on, spit it. Go on.
I'm here because of Maya. So, good morning, everyone. Maya's awesome. She inspired me. I like to get warm up. All right, real quick. Let's warm it up. All right, when I throw my hands up, I want y'all to shout, say what? All right?
Okay, say what?
All right, one more time.
Say what?
Louder than that.
Say what?
They call me Afro Blues by way of Congo.
Say what?
Back home, I didn't even know we were Latino.
Say what?
The first time I met one, she was from Puerto Rico.
Say what?
I didn't know Spanish, but all I knew was mira, que pasa, lo siento.
Say what?
She laughed so hard and said, Papi, you are so loco.
Say what?
I was like, nah, once you go Congo, you can never go loco.
Say what?
So she asked, so you from Africa, right?
Say what?
I was like, yeah, you too, because Puerto Rico is part of the African diaspora.
Hey.
See, during slavery, the slave boat dropped Africans all over the globe. That's why in Puerto Rico, there's descendant of the Mandingo. That's why you're so beautiful.
Hey.
They call me Afro Blues by way of Congo.
Say what?
See, I think locally and globally.
Say what?
My flow's about creating the code to uplift inner city souls.
Say what?
Society is filthy because human beings don't clean within.
Say what?
Because we are sinning, but you see, every day it's a new opportunity to be a better human being.
Say what?
Because the real war is within. Because when there's no enemy within, the enemy outside cannot hurt you. When there's no enemy within, the enemy outside cannot hurt you. Peace.
Say what?
Say what? Say what?
Say it again.
Say what?
I'm black and I'm proud.
Say what?
Thank you. Okay, so I butchered your name. So walk me through this.
Well, the first name is Leonard. So
okay, we'll just keep it like that. No, Leonard
Chitenge.
Chitenge.
Yeah, you got it. Born in the Congo. I'm that continental brother, right?
Say what?
Say what? Yeah. So my spoken word is just to advocate for underprivileged folks in the continent of Africa. I bridge gap between being born on the continent, live in America. For me, it makes sense for us to connect as a people of African descent. So one of my goals is to use my community outreach and poetry just to discuss issue that impact us locally, and then on the international level. So when you hear conflict mineral, it's always the question: what is conflict mineral? Right? Mineral, what is that? So the Congo is the second largest country in Africa. Africa continent with the four nations.
What is the first?
The first, I have to say, it's either Sudan or Algeria, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. My mental block right now. And Africa has so much natural resources, but unfortunately, the population never take advantage of it. Now, the Congo is considered one of the most mineral-rich country on the planet.
I know.
On the planet.
I know.
But unfortunately, hey, the population, the people don't benefit from it. So the Congo produces minerals that are valuable to all the technology that we have. So every cell phones, laptop, iPad, video games contain minerals that are found in the Congo, in the eastern part of the Congo. Now these minerals are known as, it's four of them that you need to produce your cell phone: gold, tin, tantalum, and tungsten. Now the purpose of the gold, it's usually used to do some code wiring behind the scene.
Mm-hmm.
Now tantalum, it's also known as coltan. That's what you need it helps store electricity in your phone, because without the coltan inside your cell phone, your phone will be dead. And the tungsten is known to help your phone vibrate, when you vibrate your phone. So these minerals come from the Congo and end up in our cell phone. The question is what is the process, and why should we care as consumers of the cell phone that we have? So these minerals are found in the mines in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the eastern part of the Congo, for 100 mines. I'm talking about the mountain area, surrounded by mining community men and women who woke up every day, go into the field, dig for those minerals. But the issue here is that these mines are controlled by African rebels, militia. So what they do, they steal them, illegally exploit them. They smuggle this mineral out of the Congo to smelters company in Asia, because their role is just to polish those minerals, and then ship them to Apple, Microsoft, HP, you name it, all the tech industry. But the main issue here, which I think humanity has remained silent, is that these rebels use rape as a weapon of war, raping women, mothers, grandmothers. This is not an exaggeration, and I'm talking about a report over the course of 10 to 15 years, it has reworked into a war zone. So when you hear conflict mineral, it just means that mineral come from a conflict zone in the mine in the Congo, where this rebel, they control the mine. So using rape as a weapon of war, meaning that you pretty much destroy an entire community, an entire village, because you're kidnapping the men and the boys to go to this mine to dig for these minerals, right? But you're raping the women, you're raping the mother. And I'm talking about thousands of women per month. This is no exaggeration. This is over the course of 20 years. So when we hear watching what's going on CNN in terms of Iraq and Afghanistan, the Middle East, but we have no idea that this war, the civil war in the Congo have been considered the damnedest war since World War II. And we don't even know about stuff like that. It's so deep to the fact that among ourselves as a consumer, we don't know. But the company, they know. If it wasn't for the human rights groups such as the Enough Project and so many American organizations and Congolese men and women in that circle of activism, they're the one who break the silence. So
you said for 20 years?
So I said, for over the course, you built over the course. So the number 6 million of Congolese men and women, girls have been murdered and massacred.
6 million.
6 million. That's no lie, no joke. I've been doing this work, especially connected to the Congo. So in the circles of activism, in the circle of human rights group, such as the Enough Project, they started to bring the awareness in the United States.
And the what project?
The Enough Project, if you go and Google them, enoughproject.org.
So it's Enough.
Correct.
Project.
Yeah, Enough. Yeah, I said
Okay.
E because my French accent.
That's okay. That's right. Okay.
And we have our own human rights group here in Boston, called Congo for Action Now, which I'm part of it.
So let me play devil's advocate. It's Black History Month. What does this got to do with me?
That's the good question. It's how do we with you, because what I just mentioned in the poem, historically speaking, you have to look at listen, we are from Africa. We are connected to that continent. So when I say the slave boat of Africans over the globe, it is true. When I say there's an African global presence. So you being an African queen, being an African king, because I am the king. In culture speaking, when you tap into my history, we are kings and queens. What does it have to do with you in terms of Black History Month? Is for us to create that awareness, that to share your story, right? And to ask the question, how can your gift contribute, to what's going on, to your community on a local level, and the international level, because as a people of African descent, we are so disconnected. Historically, we have so much misinformation about each other. So which makes it hard for us to unite, to collab on an issue like this, So my point of the poem was just can you imagine Congo and Hispanic? I didn't even know what Latino in the Congo. Growing up in Africa, especially come from the Congo, it's a mainly Black country. You can wake up, the whole country's Black, the president's Black, the minority is white people, and then you come in America, oops. Oh, melting pot. What's going on? And then you try to interact the black folks here, and you see the sense of disconnect. You see the sense that, wow, I guess it's not even, I'm not even taking personally, because your understanding of Africa was just the TV, you know, the Tarzan. You were asking me, you have a key line? I'm saying, is that a joke? You know, do you have Mercedes? So for me, once I realized that, wow, we are so disconnected. We don't even know each other, right? We have misinformation.
What Mercedes got to do with Africa?
That's the question. People are like, y'all got Mercedes? I'm like, oh, yeah. I said, No, but it's just, I remember the basketball coach. I went to English, you know. He started to ask me, oh, you come from Africa? Y'all got this in Africa? Y'all got that? Y'all got that? Coach was like, stop asking that. I'm just like, this is interesting.
Because all we know about was the little black kids with big bellies and flies on their nose.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
So that's exactly the point. And it's the same thing us back home. You know,
what do you guys think about us?
Through hip hop culture, because I was blessed enough to grow up between Gabon and Congo. So I was like a young Pan-Africanist using hip hop, because back in the day, the hip hop was a huge voice for us to really understand what's going on in Black America. But I'm talking about conscious hip hop from NWA, from Run DMC. So even though we speak French in the Congo, it was so popular over there. But the media was just showing in terms of understanding Black people in America is, you know, criminal, you know, hip hop video, the women, sexual exploitation. So if you have misinformation about us and we have misinformation about you, we're not going to understand each other.
Absolutely.
The fact that we have geographical locations and languages, barrier culture.
People don't even know where Congo is.
Right. You know, in Central Africa. So,
and there's, correct me if I'm wrong, there's two Congos. There's the Congo and
well, it's Congo Brazzaville and it's Congo Democratic Republic of Congo, which is I'm from.
Okay.
So because you look at the map of Africa, you look 54 countries. So the Congo is the central right there. Because it's two parts of Africa. You have the Francophone Africa, where they speak French. You have the Anglophone Africa, where they speak English. So when you interact with a lot of Africans coming in the United States or London and Europe speaking English, you will observe that they mainly come from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Liberia, you know, these west part of the continent. But then you forget that there's also other places in Africa. So you know, like Congo, you're like, what about Togo, Mali? So it's a 54 countries, oftentimes viewed as countries. So when I said, the news said, oh, boom, boom, boom's going on in Africa, but where in Africa? Because if I say in the United States, I'll be specific, oh, something going on in New York and Chicago. And so things like that make it so difficult for us to engage in this dialogue. So in the honor of a Black History Month, it's always to pause and to look back, to see that we are connected to our continents. The question is, how can we use the gift that we have, you know, to empower each other, to build each other? So because it's about studying the Black experience in the Caribbean. Be proud of that. You represent the Caribbean. Study the Black experience in America. Be proud of that. So for me, I bridge that gap between like, listen, I have experience. I was born in, and I'm here. So I'm taking up on myself to educate as much as we can to say the fact that now here we are as consumers of cell phones on a community level, neighborhood level, to know that, you know what, we connected this issue. And it's about creating a movement demanding conflict-free products. So when I got in touch with this queen right here, Maya,
I know
she's very powerful and young, and I love the girls of North Carolina. And I did my presentation. It was like, what can we do? And that's the question.
Aren't they so? Those girls,
they're powerful. I'm here because of her. I'm sitting there. I told my wife, like, listen, Maya, I'm waking up on the radio. I'm going because it's like, and with the jobs really does for them. So the bottom line is always like, how can we start a movement demanding conflict-free products? You know, that's the question.
That's you know what? Here in Boston, here in the United States, where we allow, I don't think did you hear, like, as far as genetically modified foods are concerned?
Yeah, the whole food
so other countries are banning these foods because we know why.
Right.
Because these are things that we need to be ingesting into our system. You think for a second, if the United States of America allows us to eat and drink things that we're not supposed to be ingesting, that they're going to even care that the things that we are using are considered conflict.
Right.
And I don't know if you saw the article recently, but there was an article that came out that Apple and Dell and other computer companies are using child labor.
Yeah.
And we're completely aware that they were utilizing child labor.
Yeah.
So,
Aware of that.
and and it took an international human rights group to
Yeah.
say, hey, this is taking place, this is going on, we need to do something about it. And the companies themselves weren't even taking responsibility. So, and these were children that were being used.
Deep.
So do you think that it's even possible for us to do more than just bring awareness, but actually come up with the solution?
Well, the thing is, it's a very complex issue and involves so much money, $1 billion at stake. And I have to be wise and be careful myself too as a Congolese activist and poet as well. But yes, there was a step to it. One of the things is, and there's 3 steps to it at the consumer level, at the school, university level, and then at the legislation level. At the consumer level, what do I mean by that? It's simply us, contact your companies, your tech companies. And I think the way Apple even got involved into the situation, to this issue, is because back then there was people outside the Apple store protesting, like conflict minerals, and Apple for a while sort of ignored the issue, and then it had to take people really starting really asking questions, meaning calling your tech company, say, listen, got this laptop here, I got the cell phone, I don't really want to upgrade. Are you aware, do you know anything about conflict in the Congo? So do you have a system in place that's able to trace back your sources? Do you have a system in place? So these companies, they're worried about, of course they're worried about making billions of dollars. But as a consumer, that we have the power. So the number 2 things is it's at the university level, school level, meaning universities have contract with tech industry. They purchase billions and millions of electronic products, right? So at the university level, it's about creating a movement of students and professors really sit down with the board of directors, with the administration, like, do you guys know about conflict, mineral? Is there a way we can establish, is there a way we can contact your supply chain, demanding them to really trace their sources? That's at the university level. Now, at the legislation level, which I'm part of it, because I've been at the State House a few times with my partners from Congo for Action now, scheduling session and hearing, asking them to support the conflict mineral bill in the state of Massachusetts, known as H6282. What that is this, it's pretty much asking the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, who have contract with all the tech companies in the state, to comply with a federal law that was passed back in 2010.
Hold on, pause. You want to put a bill into place. You want to make a law for them to follow the law. Is this what I'm hearing?
Basically, but check this out though. What's going on with that bill is so I mean, for the past 3 years, it's been hard and difficult, but the law is there. So the purpose of passing the law is to ensure that every tech company in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts have to make sure that they comply with a law that was passed here in the United States 10 years ago. It's called the Dodd-Frank law. What that means is asking all United States companies to disclose a report to try to determine whether or not your product is conflict free, right? Because that's the point. Like, how do I know? How do we know for sure? Can I walk to Target and Best Buy and say, I'm here to buy a laptop, but y'all got a conflict free zone? Is your product conflict free?
Well, once upon a time, having an organic section inside of Stop and Shop, having an organic section inside of Target never existed.
Right.
Like, do you guys have an organic section? What is that?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I think it is possible for us to have a conflict free where, you know that the prices are going to be higher.
Right.
You know that you're getting good quality and you're buying conflict free. Are there any websites that now sell cell phones or laptops that are currently conflict free?
In terms of I need to add this information. It's so important. So in terms of Intel alone, I mean, they have products who are conflict free. Because what Intel did, they themselves traveling the Congo, trying to do some initiative, because people don't have to be, women and girls don't have to be raped and murdered, massacred in order for us to enjoy the cell phone that we have. So Intel have done a lot in terms of creating a system in place, some due diligence, to really work with the smelters company in Asia, really trying to find out the routes, find a way to ensure that these products are conflict free. So I know Apple have made some progress. Microsoft Store, which I have a partnership with, I kind of, lazy, because I was going to host a conflict mineral conference in Boston with my partner on conflict free, but the legal and marketing team shut me down.
For what company?
Microsoft. I think they shut me down because on their website they have this thing say conflict free sourcing, but for them, which is exactly my point, because for them it involves so much money to get this process started, but we have to demand it, So there is a solution, there was a step to it. I mean, I think a couple of years ago, I spoke at UMass and the RCC, trying to get a couple of universities involved, But the good news is this, though. There's always the bad news and the good news. The good news is the fact that in the state of California, Maryland, I think these two states alone have passed a conflict resolution, throughout the states. So meaning that the goal—
You can use that as precedent for new law.
Right. That's exactly what we're trying to do here in Massachusetts, because it's just about ensuring that there's awareness at the consumer level, there's awareness at the school level, at the legislation level. That's what we can do here, That's and by really me speaking on Mother Carolina, for me the goal is just to empower the girls, use their voice and their talents, to engage in civic engagement, understand globalization, to be inspired to think locally and nationally, to really understand the fact that there are girls just like them in the Congo, which I'm in contact with, trying to bridge them together. That because I know when I did the presentation in Mother Carolina, I did contact one of the schools back in Congo, saying, there's some girls here in America, Black girls rock all over the globe. Black people rock all over the world. So I'm trying to use this issue to engage, to educate, to inspire. So the good news, I think that there's been some major progress in terms of the mind itself, where now the awareness is really out there, but it's a challenge, because it's hard, because they shut down a couple of the minds. But when you do that, you put people out of job, So when the United States passed that law, I will call it a law, I'll say a requirement, because it was just like
ordinance.
Right, like, hey, listen, all the United States tech company.
But if it's a law, it's a law, damn it. Why do you have to make a law for you to? Well, you know what? When it comes to civil rights, we needed to have some
It's
more
so much
laws
money involved. Yeah, it's deep. But I think that for us, what we can do is just what we doing that, because we break in the silence. And when you break the silence, you become educated, because education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. That's something that's really what Nelson Mandela said. So with an issue like this, this queen right here, when she asked what can we do, it's because we have a campaign on my Facebook page called standwithcongo.org.
And she blogs about it.
Oh, you knows about that. Oh, right.
Blog
Right. Because we're going to do a lot of screening throughout the states, with some of my partners, show some films, engage in dialogue, because we want to ensure that the people in the Congo know that there are folks here who cares, American, regardless of color. But for me as a Black person, for me as a person who's born on the continent, my goal is to engage into a dialogue with our people, because we know that historically the system in place that don't want us to unite, So.
And we have this, I feel like we have this idea that, if we go back to Africa, like, would you go back to Africa? Like, would you go back to huts and teepees and spears and killing lions? And it's like, there's life over there.
And I think, this is why you haven't so much here about that, because historically it's always the understanding, what is Africa to you? What is your understanding of Africa? So even the policymaker, these politicians, it's like, do you think that they're going to really emphasize on the fact that, 6 million died? It's more like, yeah, this is what's going on in Afghanistan and Iraq. But when it comes to Africa, we're going to be selective, or we're just going to continue to present that image of a war zone, which there's poverty, there's genocide and so forth, but there's two Africa. There's one Africa that the media is showing you, and there's the other Africa that you don't see. That's beautiful.
With beautiful black sand
I mean,
beaches.
you go on my
and
Facebook
white
page,
sand beaches mountains.
It's right. It's so much. It's one of the most beautiful continents on the planet. One of the most rich continents in terms of natural resources, but unfortunately, the population haven't been benefit from the natural resources.
They've never been able to benefit from the natural resources because it was stolen and raped
and all of that stuff, right?
And now the conflicts from years ago still go on because we're fighting a war that we weren't ever supposed to fight in the first place.
Exactly.
So one of the things that I would like to mention, I read an article recently about Congo and the fact that they have they wanted to name something thousands of species of animals that have yet to be discovered in the river with in the Congo River, species of fish that never existed, plant life that never existed. There's all types of cures for everything in the jungle, and we It
is absolutely true because right now, as you speak, you go in those jungle, who are you going to find out? They're scientists. You're going to find out they're researcher, medical. So. Yeah, there was solution, there was cure, but the whole thing is it's always that the misinformation, it's always that is the systems and private corporation, who ensure that people are not educated, So there's so much information involved, but that we don't know. And for me, I think I even when I went to Fisk University after English, I went to a black school on purpose. I wanted to really understand African American history for myself, because for us, especially in certain part of Africa, your understanding of Black American history is Dr. King, and that's it. Also, a little mention of Malcolm. But when I got into Marcus Garvey, I'm like, whoa, you understand that turn of the Harlem Renaissance, and you understand the contribution of so many people who built this nation. So I said to myself, wait, and millions of Africans get kidnapped and their descendants contribute to the building of America. I need to share that information back home. Because when we left the Congo, growing up in Gabon in Congo, my friend was like, oh, you're going to America, you know what? Because I understand of America, Black America was through the lens of hip hop, right? Like, yo, say what up to Janet Jackson when you get there. Tell Janet Jackson I say, what's up? I say, yeah, I'm going to do that. And coming here to America, am I coming to America? Was this cultural shock, I said, I don't think I'm going to see Janet Jackson around. I say, listen, what's going on in America? Can you hear my people? I think that
we've been missed
our brothers and sisters that at distance, there's a lot of misinformation, a lot of tensions, and different groups minorities don't understand what's going on. And when coming to America, the movie came back home, right? The elders were mad because they said to themselves that, okay, that's a funny movie. They're laughing, but that's a funny movie. They're laughing, but is that really what America look like just by watching Coming to America? So we have to keep in mind that where do we get our understanding information of Africa? That's always the question. So and there's a lot of misinformation from there. So I've been to that now that because of social media and Facebook, it's such a blessing to try to reconnect with folks that I grew up with.
Absolutely.
Because now that way they're sharing information for me that's so valuable, because I'm still in tune with them. That's why I'm so aware of what's going on between China and Africa. I got cousins.
Yes, the China are taking over Africa. They're calling it the new.
The new colonialism, the new neo-colonialism. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's a complex issue because China, Africa, it's a economic love affair. It's the West view as this exploitations, natural. They want the natural resources. So when I contact my friend in Gabon, right? I was a PhD in economics and politics, and my question is, tell me what's the school. I want to know what is it the local people, in Gabon, all throughout the continent. What did they really? How did they feel about this China-Africa relationship? The main concern of the people on the continent is this. We know that the African government haven't really stepped it up. The reason why every government have to make sure that their people are secure. But the reason why, there's so much problem in Africa is just that the fail of the leadership of African government, who do not take serious in investing in African development. You don't take serious in investing in your own.
But then when we
people.
look at who did take African development seriously, what happened to him? So
he got killed and murdered. We hear people like Lumumba, Kwame Nkrumah, even my man Gaddafi, you know, which he was not perfect, but I think he had this vision to really
unite Africa. The United States of Africa.
Right, exactly. But the saddest part for me, I think that the African leaders, it's right there. This is a continent of 54 countries. They can make it happen, because you don't have to give in to invest with the Westerner. You know, you don't have to do that. It's about just pretty much cut ties with the West and focus on ourselves. So that's the biggest problem that comes up, because the people know that you, the government, can do something. You, the government, can do something. But what's happening is just that the local people now just feel like, listen, if y'all gonna do business with China, make sure that we have jobs. So what's happening is that the Chinese
No. We don't need jobs. We need to own the business.
But this is what I mean. But that's the thing. You're now on the same page with that. But the issue is this: when this company are making contract with this African government,
yeah,
they're bringing their own Chinese workers to do the work, because it's about rebuilding African infrastructure. The local people are saying, like, listen, if you're not going to care about African development, if you're not going to care about investing in all local people, and at least just make sure that, can we be trained on this, you know, so we can also, you know, make some money, so we can feed our family. These are local people. There's a movement of low continental Africans in all the cities who wants to ensure that the contract benefits them. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So when you hear instances like a Chinese business out there in somewhere in Zimbabwe doing construction work, you got to make sure that they hire their own Africans. And it's about improving the contract, you know. I mean, yes, I mean, we want to own the business, but they have to take the leadership of the African leadership to like, listen, before we sign this contract, if we're going to be into a win-win situation, let's make sure that the contract reflects the fact that we're going to look out for our people first. Because obviously the reality is
out of 54 countries and 54 leaders, can't nobody get right?
Tell me about that.
That doesn't make sense.
Right. I mean, there's all this initiative. There's all this stuff that we are trying. But it's failing. It's failing the people. So at the end of the day, what you just have that the government, you know, the city. So let's say you're in the cities, and the fact that education is the key, because when you go to somewhere, for instance, like in Senegal, to a place where you see farming and mining community, right? Mm-hmm. The leader of the village is supposed to educate its own people to say, listen, we need to rally among each other and really to ensure that this benefits us. But if the leader himself is corrupt, because corruption's in greed, we got PhD corruption and greed. We need to get the Oscar for greed and corruption. So once that happened, and in Time Village, they're not educated. What they're gonna do? If you wake up in the morning, you look around you, you know, your entire mining community, farming community is changing because businesses come from places. So they have no voice. They have no face. They're voiceless and faceless. You know, when you hear mining and farming community in the continent, these are indigenous folks where that's their land, that's the way of living. But if your own government do not invest in yourself, it's hard to really, really prosper on an economic level. You know, it's really hard. So that's what you see in this time of China relation in Africa. So because they're meeting, you know, doing all these deals, but what's happening, we have now a lot of students now who rather just go behind the scene, go to China, go in Beijing, really collab with the student, really collab with the engineer. Like, listen, can we learn the trade so we can go back home and rebuild our own city, do stuff for ourselves? Because even if you say, oh, there's poverty in Africa, but in order to really rebuild a poor country, poor community, you need to understand engineering, you need to understand infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I have to travel somewhere else where there's training involved, I want to go into that training so I can come back and benefit me.
My country.
So that's the movement that's happening. That's the Africa that we don't see. That's the Africa that us here as Black people, we have to know that there's hope, because there's people over there who wants to do something, wants to collab. It's the same thing over here. You know, it's like for me, when I say Black Lives Matter, they have to know Black Lives Matter here too. They have to support, so we have to support each other, you know. It feels impossible, but you know, I'm just, you know, not
I can imagine it's overwhelming. I want to go back to Maya for a second, because once upon a time, before Leonard came in, you didn't know anything about conflict minerals, did you?
I know about.
I can't say that to a child. So one of the questions that we have here is, pause, slow down, chill. I've heard conflict diamonds, but conflict minerals, they never crossed my mind. I mentioned yesterday that white people know more about Black history, Africa, melanated people than we do. That's crazy. This is unreal. We are the biggest hypocrites of 2016. If we went to conflict-free consumer zone, what would we ever buy? Like only what we grow ourselves, maybe? So in actuality, African people are still building the wealth of the technological world, all on the backs of more free labor. And Gaddafi wanted an independent Bank of Africa based on the values of its resources and got killed. Yep, you guys are nailing it this rising, but the contractors never use local people to build. They always use imported workers. For instance, the Olympics do it all the time. So I want to acknowledge the callers on the line. Thank you for your patience. Maya, we are here in the studio this rising talking about conflict minerals because of you. Yes. So let's focus on you for a second and why this is important to you. And how old are you?
I'm 14.
You're 14.
Yep.
And you have a blog, you write about this, you research this, you do your due diligence. Mm-hmm. Why is this important to you?
Because people think that I shouldn't care because I'm just 14. But at the same time, there's kids my own age dying every single day because we want a fancy phone. And I felt like because I'm 14, I should stand up and talk about it because if I care, an adult should care too. So that's how I saw it. That's why I started talking about it. Because I just wanted other people to know that there are kids that are dying every single day because of what we're purchasing and that we should care and that we should talk about it. So, and that's really all that I wanted to get out there.
Mm-hmm. And that grew because now the information is not only out there, but adults are having conversations about this now.
Yep, basically.
And as far as your blog is concerned, what are some other things that you discuss?
So I want to get back to it. I haven't been on it. I haven't been doing my post in a while, but I go to an all-girls school, Mother Caroline Academy, so I also talk about the benefits of going to an all-girls school and how people should consider an all-girls school for their kids. And I also talk about, I want to talk about children in gangs next. That's my next post, hopefully. And then there's one more that I talk about, which I talk about I talk about the Olympics that are coming up and how the big controversy about how people were wondering if it should happen in Dorchester. So I did a post about that, expressing how I felt and how I felt like it shouldn't happen in Dorchester and how it would affect our community. So those are the 3 things I have up there right now.
You won an award for that too.
Yeah, I did.
Hold on. Your teacher, principal?
Mentor board director.
It's complicated.
It's everything.
Really, it is.
Community engagement.
Yeah.
My agent.
Yeah.
I am the village.
You're gonna work for her. I mean, she's gonna be out there. You know.
Maya, you are absolutely amazing because you're right. I didn't think a 14-year-old really cared about the Olympics or conflict minerals or children in gangs. Like, half adults don't care about these issues, let alone a 14-year-old.
Right.
So I want to say when I visited Mother Caroline, I was definitely drawn to you because you asked all of the, push it to the limit type questions that I wasn't ready for, I wasn't prepared for, but it made me question my own, it made me question myself. So I'd like to publicly thank you. And I think there's a lot of adults that are listening now that are wondering, like, what am I doing with my life that this 14-year-old is making more of a difference than I am.
Right.
So as far as conflict minerals are concerned, is there anything you want to add that Leonard did not bring up?
He basically said it all. He's been doing the research. I started with conflict diamonds, and when I met him at the Boys and Girls Club, he was the one that really pushed my knowledge further. So basically, he really did mention it, say it all, that millions and millions of people are dying every single year because of one laptop, because of one phone. And we really do need to take a stand and take notice and realize that this is not right, and that there are many laws set to prevent this, but we're just not following them. So that's basically my stand on it, and that's basically what he said. So I back him up 24/7.
So, all right, I'm the biggest hypocrite in 2016. I have a phone, but I don't believe in conflict minerals. I have a laptop, but I don't believe in conflict minerals. I have all this technology around me, but I don't believe in child labor. I don't believe in the rape as a
Weapon of war.
a weapon of war. What can I do? Like, I feel like you, when you first met, what can I do? Because it's not like I can't go into any of these stores and say, hey, I want a new phone that's conflict free. How can I support the movement without going back to the 70s and not having any technology?
Honestly, all people have to do is
Create
get
the
word
silence.
out there.
Right.
Get people aware that this is a problem. Use your social media to tell people that conflict minerals and conflict diamonds do exist and that there is a problem. Just raise awareness. That's all they have to do, to be honest.
So let me ask you a question. You may not know the answer to this question as far as conflict diamonds are concerned. Blood diamonds is really, brought a lot of light to conflict minerals or conflict diamonds. And, like the anonymous said, I knew about conflict diamonds, but I knew nothing about conflict minerals. Do you know whether or not, because we do know like De Beers and, the company that hoards diamonds, even though diamonds are as abundant as pebbles on a beach.
Right.
But yet they sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Do you know whether or not all of these diamonds are actually conflict free, or are we still in the United States purchasing, people are getting engaged, people want some earrings, people, there's super sales going on for everything. Are we still purchasing conflict diamonds?
I feel like the answer is yes to that, because no one has really proven that they have a system in place to show us that it's not blood diamonds and that they aren't conflict free. So I feel like yes, in a way, but I should have Leonard talk about this.
No, just to elaborate. That's a good point. There's this thing called the Kimberley process, I believe. I used to research on that. The Kimberley process, meaning ensure that conflict-free diamond. Thinking because it started in Utah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, pretty much Kimberley process. It's trying to do what we trying to do with the conflict, because we want conflict-free products. So yes, there's been a lot of initiative, a lot of progress, still a lot of challenge at the same time. So it's the same challenges that Maya is talking about. And I think, the question that you posed, that's a very good question. It's a matter of breaking the silence, And for me, at one point, I was saying to myself, it's about boycotting this product, man, not even upgrade my cell phone and so forth. But the reality is we need these technology, and they're part of our existence. We need them. It has to be a win-win situation where everybody's benefited. People don't have to be murdered and women don't have to be raped and massacred, But what I want to emphasize is this, every country have its own problem, its own sin, because the reality is this Congolese problems equal Congolese solution. But it is an obligation for the United States, the policy makers, the technology industry to engage and to create an environment to ensure that the voice of the Congolese people are heard, to establish an environment where you see a lot of Congolese leadership, because even when they passed that law, you passing a law, but you're not including us in the solution, because the law the quote unquote law that was passed, yes, it did initiate some hope, some progress, but it's more that can be done. But I think that for us, everybody should have to play the part,
So is there a way for us to say, listen, we're not coming up with a new law to make you follow the damn law. Follow the damn law.
And that's what I'm trying to do, because I go a higher level legislation, you know. And it's one of those things that, in a way, there's no hope, but there's hope. You still have to try. You have to plant seed. You have to be
Most
a
of these
farmer.
companies don't even pay taxes, so yeah,
Right.
you kind of do feel hopeless when the United States government penalizes you for $10 on your tax return, but yet $10 million slips through their fingers.
The point is to do something, and even by just breaking the silence, it's already powerful within itself. But you now really understand, connect to the fact that I got the cell phone. It's connected to people like me, back in some place in Africa, across the Atlantic Ocean, way over there in eastern part of the Congo, where they're just as we are in Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, their community over there who do their 9 to 5, but with their 9 to 5 is for them to dig out minerals that they come from war zone where people are being raped while we, enjoy the technology that we have. So it's not so much about doing a guilty and blame trip. I mean, it feels like that, but for me, I'd rather take the approach on educating the masses, breaking the silence, and the step way to do it, do like stuff like Maya mentioned, and so I just want folks to follow me on my website, on my Facebook, because I will be staying in touch with Mother Carolina. I'll bring my partners. We'll do some screening, show some films, engage in dialogue.
We got some students from UMass that want to get on this.
Right, and I got to get back to UMass Boston too, because the professors last year was hype, the students, I was there speaking. So let me just say this before I forget, because it's so much. I know, Brenda, there's a movement of college students here in the United States. Over 200 schools have joined this movement. They're passing conflict resolution, meaning that they're bringing this issue to the top. And that's been working at Brandeis University in Waltham. They finally passed a conflict resolution. So congratulations to that, because I know all the people involved in that. And BU is trying.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
UMass Boston, I'm on it, and I know even the RCC, you give a shout out to this wonderful.
So what does that mean? That means they're going to start using products that.
Well, what that means is this. What mean is that it's about creating an awareness among the students and the professors, right? To now bring that issue to the board of directors, bring the issue to the people who are in charge, to now ask the right questions, such as, who are our contract in terms of electronic products?
Okay.
Do they understand there's a conflict mineral issue going on here? Is there any way they can find a system to trace, because by law we are required to do that.
Yeah.
Now once that
asking those questions
right.
and
once you get a report, you say, as far as Brandeis University is concerned, yes, there's been some initiative that's been happening. Our supplier are aware of what's going on. What they're going to do now, start a movement of sourcing. Once you do that, for different schools, different universities, high school, elementary school, because I'm speaking at Canton High School next week for Black History Month on xenophobia and cultural awareness. So as an artist, my creativity is to sort of touch any sort of topic, because I use my third eye, should I say, just to inspire folks to be creative, to realize that, we all in this mess together, man. It's about creating a movement of human rights. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing, Mother Carolina. This queen right here.
I want to take calls really quickly, and then I'm gonna have you two give your websites, because my questions are coming in about how do they follow your blog. So 617-282-0062. We've come all the way to the top of the hour. I do apologize for the callers that have been on hold for like 20 minutes. Thank you for your patience, but I wanted to get the information out there and make sure that we left thoughts and opinions over to the side. But if you have any questions, 617-282-0062. Good Rising Caller, you're live. Shut your radio off for me.
Yeah. Great topic this morning. But a couple of things I want to say, that the African countries where these conflicts are going on, Congo and others, should really take a page from Gaddafi's notebook. I mean, not in regard to the conflict, but where, you got China coming in and, want to bring in their own workers and all of that, and own the companies that are stripping the natural resources from these countries. they should enact law that at least 51% of these companies should be owned by the government, basically nationalizing the natural resources so that the country can't just be totally exploited. You know, there's a reason why they call Africa the motherland, because every other country is sucking off the breath of Africa and not giving anything back. And, you know, it's not so far-fetched to have really sanctions or boycott on the products that are coming out of these conflicts. Because remember when, you know, South Africa was deep in apartheid, and the main thing that we used to get from them was rubber and chrome, and there were sanctions placed on South Africa. You know, the old school whips and all these big chrome bumpers that you see, you don't see bumpers like that anymore, because during that period of time, they had to be punished to be brought into subjection, and, you know, the rest is history, even though it's still not economic justice over there, but it's not what it was during the height of apartheid.
Takwa, you know I love you, right?
I love you more.
I hope you have an amazing day today. We have another call on the line, 617-282-0062. Good rising, caller, you're live. Good.
Hey, listen, Apple Blues, man, you my man. I love you, dude. You know what I'm saying? I like the work you're doing. I've always loved the work that you're doing, man. And whenever you decide to go back home, man, I want you to run for president because I'm going to vote for you, bro.
Reggie, how you voting in the Congo election?
I'm going to vote in the Congo election. I don't know if they have one, but we'll find out. We go back and go with them. We're going to find out something. He's going to run for president. We're going to vote for him.
All right. Thank you, Reggie
bro.
B. We love and appreciate you.
Bro.
You know what? Can I tell you a secret? My secret is that when I was a little girl, I wanted to be an African president. Like I didn't know what country.
Right.
Because at that age, I was under the impression that Africa was a country.
Right.
One country, not 50, 53?
54, I should
54.
say. Yeah, probably more.
Yeah, so I was completely ignorant to the 54 other countries. And I was like, I want to be Africa's president.
Right.
Because as a child, you learn that there's, you know, any infomercial, any commercial, anything about Africa was a little black child with a big belly that was hungry. And I still didn't understand that. How is he hungry, but his stomach bigger than mine? Like, you know, I didn't get it. There was a complete disconnect there.
Right. And it's not your
But
fault.
is it possible that as an American citizen, maybe a dual citizenship, I'll be able to become a president? Because somebody got to.
There's actually a woman president in Liberia, I think. Yeah.
In Liberia?
Yeah. She's still under. Yeah. There's a lot of progress in terms of women in leadership role. It's possible. You know, my sister lives in Ghana, so she's trying to get a dual citizenship as well. I know she does a lot of missionary work. But yeah, it's not your fault. I mean, which is my point. It's the same thing as growing up too. Growing up, we just have a lot of misinformation, but it's possible.
I thank you. Is there anything else you guys want to let the listeners know other than your website? Is there anything else about conflict minerals? What resources can they reach out to? What websites can they follow? What petitions can they sign? What about conflict minerals? Can they go ahead and do their due diligence? And where can they start? Or how can they feel like they're being a little proactive?
Two things. They can first go on Google, enoughproject.org. Now, the second step is to support the bill that's going on right now, the Massachusetts Conflict-Free Bills, called it S-1682. It's an act relevant to the Congo conflict mineral. And follow me on Facebook, add me on Facebook. I don't care who you are, and I'm going to take you to this journey, engage in this entire movement of creating.
Hold on. Before you do that, I just read automobile. Demand conflict-free products, and it says automobile.
Right. See, there's so much information. So these minerals is also valuable to the automotive industry. The airbags, you know, the cars that we drive in, anything related to technology, anything related to laboratory, anything related to build some technology, you need minerals, because you need mineral that goes behind the scene. They help the production, the fabrication in that. So all this mineral that you hear about, gold, tin, tantalum, and tungsten, they're so valuable even to the automotive industry in terms of really I mean, I'm not an engineer in terms of the term,
I got you.
but to build the entire HELVAC system that we have, because you look at the car, there's so much involved behind the scene. You got to talk to the engineer or even the mechanic. They'll tell you the first step is just you need metal, you need minerals. So it's a step A, B, C, D. You know, right?
Oh,
the GPS, right? The video game that we play, I mean, you name it. The Xbox and all of that. How did we fabricate them? So you got to understand the process of hardware and software. But which is the brother Carl mentioned, the motherland. So Africa is that place. So it all started there. So we have all we have because of the place. So it makes sense for us to engage in these dialogues, to start a conversation, to realize that there's not just one solution. There's a lot of solutions to it. There's ways that. So follow me on Facebook. Add me on on my Facebook page. You'll find me on the Leonard, Leonard, and the last name is TSHITENGE, and my website is consciouslyexposed.com.
Come on, Maya. Let us know what it is.
Okay, my blog is fightbackneversilent.blogspot.com, and I have to do a shout out to my school before we finish, because without them, without Mother Carolina Academy, I wouldn't be here. And I just wanted everybody to know, anybody that has a little girl should know that our next open house is Thursday, March 24th at 6 p.m. So if you want your girl to get a good education, then come out to the MCA.
Grades 4 and 5 are enrolling.
Grades 4 and 5 are currently enrolling. You guys need more seats. So I visited Mother Caroline. This is how this conversation started. I went out for Women Crushing It Wednesday, and I spoke as a woman. I guess I'm crushing it.
Yeah.
And I go back to the questions that were asked, and they were questions about that held me accountable. They weren't like, what are you doing? It wasn't more so like a blame game, but I took it that way. Like, what are you really doing, Tayla? Huh? Who are you and what do you do? And I want to thank the young woman. I actually said that excuse my language, I said in 10 years, these girls are going to be kick-ass women. Like every single last one of them. And I don't know what you guys feed these children, what you guys, and I mean feeding them as far as education is concerned, their brain is concerned. They're absolutely amazing, dynamic young women. Hey, she did a little curtsy. I'm looking for the Mama Africa. I don't have it though. I don't have it because I really did want to play. What's my man's name? Mama Africa, so much love to give. Akon, the man lighting up Africa.
Yes.
Lord have mercy. Can we have another conversation? Can you come back? Can we have another conversation about Africa?
Yes.
Because we have this one-dimensional view of what Africa is, what Africa looks like, what Africa. And we think if we go back, we're gonna be throwing spears again.
Right. And that's why I'm also involved in Africans in Boston. We on Facebook, AIB. That's why
Africans in Boston.
Yeah, it's a movement that's going on in Boston. So I'm one of the director of social activity and programs. So we on Facebook as well. So yes, we can certainly come back. There's so much to talk. I mean, for me, the beauty and the power in this is the fact to realize that we've been lied to. That because of geographical location, because of language and culture, we can't connect. Yes, we can. So yes, definitely would love to come back. That's what I do. You know, I do workshop and speaking engagement, educating, sharing information. Because like the brother said, there's so much information, but I think sometimes we don't have a voice. We don't hear each other's voices. You know, there's a lot of the folks out there in the continent, they're voiceless and faceless, and the same thing here. So for me, it's important for me to relate the information, start a positive movement to say, listen, there's some folks who care. The reality is growing up, it's just an understanding of a continent, even in Black America, which is messed up. And that's what Black history is about. It's an American history. And I'm here as an African because of the Immigration Act of 1965, the third wave of immigration set the tone for the Africans to come, Latin America, was, because the first immigration was about the European. But for me, it makes sense to know that I'm here as a continental African, or the African that comes here because of the Civil Rights Movement. They set the tone to the Civil Rights Act, the Immigration Act. So it makes sense for us to engage. That's why if you're a person of African descent, even Asian descent, even Latin American descent, it makes sense for us just to celebrate Black History Month, because you're talking about people of African descent who built this country. You know, you're talking about, so anytime if you take an elevator, who think built that? You know, an African American, I forgot the name on top of my head. So it makes sense for us as we talking about Black History Month for people to, and that's because I do a lot of initiative. I'm everywhere. I'm partnering with, you know, immigrant coming from Africa, you know, make them understanding that, you know, the little tension that's out there, you know, the Africans and this and this and this. It's all
African
just,
booty scratchers.
right? It's all just, you know, ignorance. But the love, the power is real. And one of my favorite African proverbs I want to leave everyone to meditate is, when there's no enemy within, the enemy outside cannot hurt you. When there's no enemy within, the enemy outside cannot hurt you. And I want to leave this African proverb to all the parents out there. The destruction of a nation begins in the home of its people. The destruction of a nation begins in the home of its people. Peace.
I don't think I need to say anything else. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. If you missed any of today's conversation, please head over to mixcloud.com, TAYLAANDRE.
That's right, baby. You know what it is? It's DJ Sus One, the feature presentation. Listen, make sure you wake up with Tayla Andre Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 a.m. on Big City 101.3 FM. Wake up with the Radio Rebel. Politics, news, conspiracies. Wake up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. It's the type of stuff I'm into, all right? Make sure you tune in. Let's go.
All right, man.
You know how I feel right now. Yeah.
So stay in touch, man. You know, because my goal is just to, I want to find a way, with the school permission, like all the pictures that will be taken, send them to the schools. There's a girls' schools in the eastern part of the Congo too, because
We have a girls' school in Rwanda.
right. And
So can you guys say hi to YouTube? Hi.
Hey.
Following us. Still watching.
We also need mentors in Mother Caroline Academy.
Go on, tell them everything you need.
Yeah, we need some female mentors in the Boston area. It's such a great honor to work with the girls. So
yeah, shout out to Mother Carolina, amazing school, amazing girls. I'm talking about, these are queens. You know, these are leaders of tomorrow. They're gonna set the tone. So Black girls rock and include Black boys as well. So we all in this together, all right?
we got Latinas out of Mother Caroline too. So
Yep.
She said we got Latinos.
We got everybody.
yeah.
So what I would like to say is this T-shirt was made for me. Dun, 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 dun. And it says, go ahead.
The sound of my voice is music to me. So yeah.
I can't sing worth a lick, but the sound of my voice is music to me. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you guys had an awesome show today. Please share this information. Make it go global. Make it go viral, because this is the information that needs to be shared. Not videos, not as like, this is the information that is important to our young children. Our 14. You got to imagine what other 14-year-olds out there want to make a difference, want to make a change. Help them, give them that opportunity, share the dream, live the dream. Your website one more time, your blog?
Fightbackneversilent.blogspot.com.
Your blog, your website?
Consciouslyexposed.com. Consciouslyexposed.com. It's about exposing information and build each other up.
Wake Up with Tayla Andre, TAYLAANDRE. I love you. I appreciate you, and I hope you have an awesome day.